Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Victoria, and today we're going to be doing a Taboo book vlog. On my channel, I have done 2 other Taboo book vlogs, and I am going to make this kind of like a series, so I'm going to be doing more as my channel goes on, and I'd like to do them closer together because I haven't done one in a really long time. But the basically what this vlog is that I read a book that is taboo, and I read a lot of taboo books, but these ones specifically are taboo books that I am nervous about reading or apprehensive about. Like, I'm not sure, there's something in them that still makes me like, oh, I don't know if I'm gonna like that. So the first one that I read was Birthday Girl. That was the first vlog that I did, Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas, and that one, ex-boyfriend's dad, large age gap, wasn't sure about that. Second one is Credence. Credence is still one of the weirdest book premises that I've ever read, but both of those went really well. So this book, that even going into this book, reading it, starting to read this today, I'm still like, oh, there's something about the premise of this book that just makes me so nervous, and that is Lessons in Corruption by Giana Darling. I have read all the other Fallen Men books that are not about King and Cress, and I love them, but the thing that age gap doesn't bother me. I really love age gap books, but the thing that makes me uncomfortable in this book is it's a student teacher romance. Student teacher is not my trope. I do not like student teacher romances. So I'm so nervous about going into this book. But it's time. I am going to finally be reading this, and I really hope this goes well. All I know about this book is what I know from the other Fallen Men books, which is that this is a student teacher romance about King and Cress. King is the son of Zeus from book 2, who is the head of the motorcycle club, and Cress is his teacher, so it's the older woman, younger man situation, which I have not read a lot of, so I'm intrigued by it. So that part excites me. It's the student teacher aspect that worries me, and I don't know anything else about it at all. So we're gonna go into it. We're gonna read it today. I have the audiobook, and also I'm gonna follow along with the ebook. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I just finished chapter 1, and here are some of my first impressions. 1, I am very glad that she saw him and was attracted to him before he was her student. He has not become her student yet, but she saw him like in a parking lot and was immediately like super attracted to him from the way he looked. And I am very glad that was before, that happened before he became her student. So like that eases my worries about the student teacher a little bit more. Only a little bit though. 2, I feel so bad for Cress in her relationship with her husband. He has this idea of who his wife should be, and it's nothing like who Cress wants to be, and he's just holding her back from being who she really wants to be. And I feel just like so bad for that, and like really want her, even like after like just seeing them interact and hearing him talk to her, I want more for her. Like, that is amazing about Giana Darling's writing, is that you become so attached to her characters, and even after the first chapter, I already feel this like attachment to Cress and being like, I really, really want her to be happy. Listening to the audiobook, like I said, and audiobook news, it's narrated by Savannah Peachwood, who I love, so that's great. I am very, very excited. Only thing about that is that it only has one narrator, so it's not like a male and a female narrator, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure I saw that the other 2 books in the series that have come out on audio have 2 narrators, so that's interesting to me. But either way, Savannah is a great, great narrator. She narrates some of my favorite audiobooks. I am going to keep going, and I will keep updating you as I have thoughts and feelings. So I'm on chapter 4 now, and they are bantering and they are flirting, and she left the bar with him to go to like a different bar to go for a ride on his motorcycle. And they've been together, like they've been like flirting and talking to each other for a really long time now, but she still hasn't told him her name. Like, he told her his name, but he keeps calling her babe. And they even talked about the fact that he doesn't know her name, and that's why he kept calling her babe, but that she liked when he was calling her babe. But then she still didn't introduce herself, so he still doesn't know her name. And that's just so weird to me. That was the best reaction to her finding out that he was a student in her class. It was perfect. I'm almost at the end of chapter 13, and I'm like really, really enjoying this. Whenever I do these vlogs, I'm always like, why was I so scared of this? So far, I'm loving this. Anytime that they do anything on the school grounds, I get a little, but I love their banter, and I really like King, and I think the thing that I'm like most worried about is if the school ever finds out about them, like somebody in the school. So that's gonna be the part that I'm gonna be like not sure, like nervous about. But I wanted to come on and mention that I love the fact that I've already read the other ones, because it makes reading this one so much fun when you see like little cameos. So like she talked about how Louise Lafayette was like her favorite student of hers, and I was like, Lulu from Welcome to the Dark Side. So that was very exciting. And then we just saw Nova from Inked in Lies, and I love Nova, so that was so exciting. And seeing Zeus as like more of like a dad rather than like the love interest is great. Zeus like rescues Cress from her shitty like ex-husband. She's trying to divorce her husband, and her husband refuses to sign the papers and has like a stick shoved up his ass, and is like, she's just having a midlife crisis, and you'll be back to me because you'll never be able to survive without me. And he showed up at her school, at the school that she works at, and he's such an asshole. And she's trying to like get away from him and just like get him to stop talking to her so shittily. And Zeus comes to like her rescue and helps get her away from him. So loved that. Okay, so I am about halfway through, and like I said, I'm really enjoying it. I'm at a part where Cress has finally kind of agreed to be open about the fallen MC. She has been like taught her whole life, like programmed her whole life to look down on people like that and think of them as criminals and all this stuff. But she's gotten to a point where she can't really deny her feelings for King anymore. And he is knocking off all of her excuses that she has for not being with him. So she's kind of agreed to try and get be open to the MC lifestyle. My predictions for the second half of this book are, so far, I think that her brother is gonna play a big role. He has like come in, he like showed up once, and then you've gotten like little hints about him, like, you know, he's an ex-con and he wants Cress to get him a job with the MC. And she obviously does not want to do that. But she seems to love her brother, even though he's gone through like hard times and everything, and her family has like really aggressively disowned him. So I think that he's going to come back in a big way. I think he's going to be involved in the conflict that arises. I don't know what that conflict will be, but I think he's going to be involved in it. I'm surprised how much I like this book. I've given 5 stars to all of the Fallen Men books except for Good Gone Bad, which I gave 4 stars. But that's a lot of books to give 5 stars in one series, so I don't know why I'm so surprised that book 1 in the series I wouldn't love. So halfway through, I love it. I have no issues so far, no problems. This woman is gorgeous, by the way. I also wanted to mention that I'm really liking Savannah Peachwood's audio narration. I think she's doing a really good job. She really does a good job of differentiating between like King's voice and Cress's voice, and I haven't gotten confused in any way, so I just wanted to point that out because I am a big audiobook reader and that kind of thing's important to me. And I know that authors spend a lot of money on their audiobooks, so I just want to let them know that I appreciate that. But yeah, I love this so far, and I'm gonna just stop rambling and go back to reading. This book and this whole series is, and a lot of romance books in general, are perfect examples of letting people know that they shouldn't judge others based on first impressions or based on the way that they look. Your first idea of a person is not always accurate, and that you can't judge someone based on their appearance. You need to like get to know them deeper, and that is just going over and over in my head while I'm reading this book, and having so many other people judge the Fallen. Even Cress judges the Fallen so much when she first talks about it, when she first moves to Entrance, and she's like, oh, they're criminals, they're evil, they suck. And then she meets King and gets to know him, and even when she knows King and is like, okay, King's not a criminal, but he's associated, his family are, and she's just like, okay, just because he's good doesn't mean the rest of the Fallen are good. And then she meets all of them, and she's like, they're wonderful people, they're so nice, they're welcoming. Yeah, they might be a little rough around the edges, but they're good people. Cyclops's woman says something like, even though the Fallen aren't loyal to the law, they have loyalty, they're still loyal men, they're just loyal to their family and to people that deserve it. Oh my god. Mayor Lafayette is such an asshole. Like, you know he's an asshole when you read Welcome to the Dark Side, because like, oh, he sucks in that book, but he's such an asshole in this one too. Like, oh, the rich people can do nothing wrong. Obviously, everything that goes wrong is because of the Fallen. They have no proof at all. They're just like, oh, they ride motorcycles, they must be criminals. Assholes. Also, I find it so funny that this book takes place in Canada, but the drug that they're talking about that the Fallen Men sell to people is marijuana. in the United States, where I live, I mean, I can't speak for Canada. I don't know anything about Canada. But in the United States, there are so many states that have legalized marijuana, and it's decriminalized in the entire United States. You can grow your own weed in Vermont legally. And that is the drug that the Fallen are like distributing. And I just find that hilarious. They are not selling hard drugs. They're selling marijuana, and these people are like, they're horrible criminals, and they're bringing drugs to our cities. Can somebody let me know in the comments if you're from Canada or know anything about Canada. Is it similar now in Canada? What's the legalization of marijuana in Canada like now? Because I don't know when this book was written, but I wonder if it's changed. The way that King just says what he feels and like makes her say how she's feeling. He's like, you can't hide. This is how I feel. Tell me how you feel. I love it. The way he talks, like every single feeling that he has, so poetic. It's not just like, I love you. It's like every word he says to her is like him reciting the poetry that he has written about how amazing and wonderful she is and how it makes him feel. And I am like melting. And then he's so sexy on top of that. So it's just so good. And I keep comparing him to the others because I mean, like, I've read the other ones. But it's not, he's not like gruff and hard like Zeus or like swaggery like Nova. He has so many feelings and he just expresses that he's like almost like swoony worthy, but just in like such a ruggedly sexy way. It's like a Greek god mixed with a marshmallow. It's just... He's so swoony in one scene and so romantic, and then in the next scene he's just like rugged and sexy, and it's perfect. It's perfect. I finished Lessons in Corruption by Giana Darling, book 1 to the Fallen Men series, and I loved it. I'm gonna give it 5 stars. So good. I am glad that I read it, and I am glad that I ended up liking the way that the student-teacher situation played out, but I don't think that I am going to look for student-teacher romances like in the future. It's not like, oh, because I liked this one, I'm gonna go look for that trope. I still don't think that that's gonna be a trope that I like. I really liked in this how that student teacher ended up playing out, because the thing that I was most apprehensive about is the situation at the end that I was anticipating, where people would find out about their relationship and Chris would be fired or something would go on and it would be drama and conflict. And that's the part that I didn't want to get to. I don't like those types of situations where something like kind of implodes their nice world. So I wasn't looking forward to something like that happening. But in this book, because of the involvement of the motorcycle club and just the state of entrance, this town that they live in, there was no big blow up like I was worried about. So I was really, really happy about that. And I thought that the way that played out and the way that their relationship like played out, the student-teacher aspect of the relationship played out, was done really, really well. The other thing is before starting this vlog and before reading this book, I went on Goodreads and I read a lot of Goodreads reviews about this book. And a lot of the reviews that I was reading, or a couple of the reviews that I was reading, had said things like they didn't like that Cress would change her mind about the way she feels about King and their relationship. And I don't think that she changes the way she feels. I think that when the two of them are together and they're hanging out and they're at home or whatever, and it's just the two of them, that she doesn't notice the taboo aspects of their relationship. King does not act like someone who's younger than her. You can't really notice the age difference in the characters in a maturity level sense. He doesn't act like a teenager. He acts like a man. And I think that when Cress is confronted with the fact that she's his teacher, she's so much older than him, when she's confronted with that, that's when she's like pulls back a little bit and is like, oh, this is wrong, we shouldn't be doing this. Like that's it makes her uncomfortable because she has been taught that that's wrong. So I think that that's where you get that like push and pull of her feelings towards the relationship. I also think that the motorcycle club plays a big aspect in that, because again, the way that she was raised, the motorcycle club is not something, especially with the trauma that she has in her past regarding blood and violence. She is worried about that coming back into her life, and herself and King being put in danger as a result of this motorcycle club. So I think when she's confronted with those elements that make her apprehensive about the relationship, that's when she gets like pulls back. But when they're together and they're just feeling their feelings and being together, she doesn't remember those things because they're so involved in each other and she loves him so much. So I didn't mind those elements because it felt like a natural push and pull of a relationship. It felt very like if I was in that situation, I would react similarly and like pull back and try and like rein in my feelings when I'm confronted with things that make me nervous about my own relationship. Really, really liked Cress as a character in general. She is fabulous female character, and I'm very picky about my female characters, so I really, really liked the way that Cress was done. And I really liked her journey of going from this, what she thinks that people are supposed to be based on where she's grown up and the way she's been taught, and this box that her husband and her family were putting her in that she didn't fit right into, and kind of growing into herself. Even though she's older than King, he's teaching her this stuff, which is why I was like, the title, I got like 3/4 of the way through and I was like, the title makes so much sense, because he's really teaching her about how to be an adult, a free adult who doesn't have to be in these little cookie cutter boxes. And there's a scene where they're going to a bar and she has no idea what to order because her husband ordered for her. She has no idea what she likes and she has to tell the bar, I have no idea what I like. And King's like, I knew what I liked at 15, and she is 26, 27 years old, and she has no idea about her own feelings about things because she was never given the opportunity. And I really like that King lets her experience those things and helps her without pushing her too far, but helps her and really allows her to thrive in those scenarios that she's been wanting to do for her whole life. When she is with King, it's amazing to see the difference in her personality and the times when she's like, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. And he's like, if you want to do that, you can do that. If you like, do whatever makes you feel good. Like, don't hold back and don't be worried what other people think. And I really like the way that the motorcycle club really teaches that to her, is that you shouldn't care what other people think. Like, fuck everyone else who has an opinion about you. The only opinions that should matter to you are your opinion of yourself and the opinion of people that you love. And I think that was done so well. So all of that gushing, basically. I loved this book, giving it 5 stars. Thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what I should do for my next Taboo reading vlog. I have a couple of books that I have planned out, but if you have one that you want me to read, let me know about it below and I will see about if I can read it. But that's it. So give it a like if you liked it, subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.